Hello, this is Mike Poor, Superintendent of Schools for Bentonville School District, and I am very excited to be here in your room and getting to talk about something that has happened at Artisan that I know you have a big passion about. But before we do that, you know, we've got a Christmas tree, we got
This is true.
a deck that supports laptops. It's important as you introduce yourself to share who you are and then why this room and why it looks like this.
Well, I teach Achieve 3000 at Artisan Middle School, and we use the iPad cart and the iPads to look up nonfiction articles. And this week we were learning about energy and different ways that we can use it for Earth Day. And my tree kind of ties into the room because I put up at Christmas, and we usually keep the lights kind of dim in here since we have the iPads, and it gives me a little more light in the back of the room. And the kids and I get to design how we're going to change it every month. And
so it fits in perfectly with Earth Day, huh?
Yeah, you just missed. I had some Easter eggs and things on it for last month, so now it's a little summer flower tree because the girls got to pick this time.
Stacy, it's obvious in terms of the way this room looks and the passion you have about talking about you know, what you do day to day with kids, but I think you have something else that is really the intent of why we're doing this Minute with Mike here at Artisan that's very important to you.
Right.
Can you share you know, what happened prior to spring break and what was the reason that you got involved in all this?
Sure. Last April, a year ago, my son Jace Hatton, who's currently a 10th grader at Bentonville High School, was diagnosed with leukemia, and he has ALL. And we were pretty shocked because he really wasn't sick or anything. His pediatrician, or our family doctor, I should say, since he's 16, finally did a full blood test, and that's where they found it and diagnosed him. And so we had to go very quickly the very next morning to Children's Hospital in Little Rock, and we have spent a lot of time there since. But he's doing really, really well right now, and he's returned back to high school every day. We've had some amazing teachers from the high school that have just gone above and beyond to work with him.
That's one of the things I noticed right away when this happened. I think within 24 hours of that diagnosis, I found out about it and found out about it from a variety of different people. There were community members, there were staff people that were all contacting me and sharing with me this band that has been given out. Can you share what this represents?
Sure. Right away, one of Jace's really good friends designed a t-shirt, and on it says, "No one fights alone." And Jace's Bible verse that's close to him and helps him work through this process continually is Jeremiah 29:11, and it's on this bracelet. And you know, it just means to him, and we've talked about it many times, is that no matter what you go through in life, that God always has a plan for you. And it may not be the plan that you want or you desire, but it's still the plan, and he knew what that plan was going to be the day that you were born. And so it really has helped him. And the kids here at our school last year when Jace was diagnosed, they were so involved with wanting to wear these and sell these, and all of the staff here and the t-shirts as well. It's just been
huge outpouring,
an amazing community of support. And I mean, we are really truly blessed, like for all the support that we've gotten from this school district and from the people that live in the area, and even people that have heard about it further out through people from here. So
well, I think that's one of the neat things, and I'm going to get to talk to two of your colleagues and some of our students here in just a few seconds about their efforts of not only supporting you and your family, your son, but a bigger scale of what they can do within the whole community. And you know, something that is a setback for your family obviously has become something that is an outpouring, not just to you, but to others. And so I'm excited to talk to some of your colleagues and students that have participated, and they're going to share a little bit of what Artisan has done to try to impact this whole thing of this terrible disease.
Right. It would just be tremendous if we could find a cure, or at least some kind of medicine to help these kids that are fighting through it so they don't feel so horrible, because that's the only true downside to it, because they have it to where, I mean, it's really in the 80 percentile that you can get through this and survive, but it's just the treatment is so harsh on your body for such a long period of time that it's hard to watch and it's hard to suffer through. So if they could just come up with something that you would kill the bad cells but keep the good cells and feel better while you're going through it, would be amazing. And I think that's kind of one of the challenges that we've seen, and that we would like to raise money to hope that somebody at some point could come up, and maybe one of these 5th graders or 6th graders, you never know.
You know, we're going to talk to those 5th and 6th graders, and we're going to talk to 2 teachers that had such an impact, and thank you for your heart and passion towards this and impacting not only your own child but so many others.
Right, thank you so much.
Thank you. We just finished talking to a teacher that I know impacts you on a regular basis, Stacy Hatton. And maybe to start this segment of the interview, I'd like first just to have both of you introduce yourself and share what you do as a part of Artisan School. Would you mind beginning?
Okay, I'm Gina Hinton, and I teach 6th grade social studies, and I'm also the student council sponsor.
Thank you, Gina.
I'm Kimberly Yarborough, and I teach 5th grade social studies.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with our student council rep, because it sounds like the student council here at Artisan really took what was happening with the Hatton family and embraced that. Can you explain that a little more of what you did and how you did it?
Well, we found out about a project called Pennies for Patients, and I talked to the student council about it, and they were all for it right at the beginning. Many of them had Miss Hatton last year, and so they kind of went through the process with her. And of course we did as a staff and as friends. And so as soon as I told the student council about it, they were ready to go. And so the lady that gave me the information, I asked her about what a good goal would be for our school, the size of our school. And she said, oh, maybe around $1,000 would be good. And so our students raised $4,444. So we're just amazed and so proud of our kids, and it was very personal for them. So many of them have family members or friends that are going through some sort of trial with cancer, and of course knowing Miss Hatton, it just made it hit home. And
Cancer is
so,
something that impacts every
yes.
family, and so you're right. And even with some of our students that we're going to interview,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they went through this before. Your class obviously embraced this.
Oh, big time.
And,
Yes.
and I heard your class raised the most money. Tell us what
Well,
that
we
looked
didn't
like.
quite rate. We got edged out at the end, but we have a student in our class whose mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at the very beginning of the year, and so she has been giving us updates throughout the year. So when this opportunity came up to raise money, my kids were all on board. The first day that we did this, it went on for 2 weeks. They had a class goal of $50 for each class, and my class had brought in over $70. And the goal was that if each teacher's class brought in $50, then the teacher would color their hair for a day. Well, in order to keep my class going, I told them that for every $50 they brought in, they would get to color my hair another day. So I ended up, my students colored my hair for 6 days during this process.
6
afterwards.
days?
Yes.
That's something.
Raised over almost $350.
And I got to come right at the culmination of that when you know the whole staff hair was just wild and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What was the atmosphere? Maybe you can begin first in your mind with that day with all the staff having their hair dyed.
well, we knew the kids would be excited because it was something special for them, but we didn't realize how excited the staff would be and how into it they would be. And before school, we were in the lounge and everyone was painting each other's hair, and we really enjoyed seeing Mr. Hesselberg with his hair colored, and it was just, it kind of brought us all together as a staff. A lot of times we're so busy, we don't have that much time to do things together, and this really brought our staff together, and it was a joyous day. It was really great.
One of the amazing things about something like that is when you're trying to do something for others, it ends up having this other impact, whether it's on students or staff.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel that happened as a part of this in terms of kind of building up a different level? What do you think first off in terms of students?
Well, I mean, the students, one thing is that the students were so excited. Of course, most all of them have had Miss Hatton at one time. And of course, the sixth graders were here last year as Jace began his journey through his cancer treatment. So they were super excited. And, the goal is to raise money to try and just get rid of cancer. I mean, so that other kids and other families don't ever have to face this again. And as we went through and did it, the kids were so pumped. And it kind of brought them together, not as just fifth graders, but as a school, uniting for one cause. And that was a fun thing too for the staff, was to see everyone with colored hair. That just showed you how much money we had raised when you saw, I mean, every teacher who had their hair colored represented at least $50, coming from being raised from students to support this cause. So it was phenomenal. It was wonderful.
It was quite a sight coming into your school that day. So getting to see, you all decked out, and I'm sure the students loved it. There's a lot of things that I think come from this. I so appreciate, the staff. I mean, you two represent a big part of the staff, of their willingness to step forward, their willingness to do something different, color hair, willingness to raise money, teach some lessons to kids about the value of thinking about somebody else. That's an awesome, awesome thing. And I'm very proud of Artisan. I know you all are too, and I'm glad that we're able to do this video to really exemplify the passion of Artisan in terms of going and supporting others. Thank you both. So would you tell us who you are?
My name is Allie Swindell.
Allie Swindell. And so Allie, tell me why you got involved in this effort here at Artisan.
Well, about 2 years ago, my grandpa was diagnosed with leukemia. It was acute leukemia, and 5 weeks later, he died because of it.
So when you look at the phrase that kind of became a catchphrase within this effort, it says, "No one fights alone." How did that relate to you and thinking about it with your grandpa?
Well, we were all trying to support him in everything, and we were always trying to be next to him. My grandma was up there all the time, just trying to be with him as much as she could until the final days.
And now you get to kind of live out his legacy in my mind, because you're still supporting the same thing that ended up causing him to lose his life. It's a pretty wonderful thing that you did. My next guest, as a part of our segment from Artisan, are two individuals that are leaders on the student council here at Artisan. Would you mind if you both introduced yourself? Could you start, please?
I'm Brianna McSpadden,
And Brianna, what grade?
6th grade.
6th grade.
I'm Eric Maines, and I'm also in 6th grade.
When student council first heard about this, what was your thought of what you would do or how you should be involved in it?
I think really what was happening was just getting the whole school motivated and just informed of what we were doing.
Wonderful. So how long did it take to get everybody kind of educated about this effort?
Not very long, maybe 10 minutes over the announcements. And
Everybody was fired up to ready to go, huh? And it had an amazing result. Everyone got fired up. Can you share a little bit about what our results were? What happened in terms of our efforts to get everybody involved?
Well, the goal for our school was $1,200, and then by the end of the 2 weeks, it was our school had raised $4,444.
4,000 and how much?
$4,444.
I just wanted to hear it said all the way again. 4,400. That's really a major accomplishment. And I know that when I came out here that day, kind of at the end of your school day, the staff was just energized. Were students pretty excited about this too?
Yes.
Yeah. I have another guest from Artisan that really was a big factor in this fundraising effort. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Alex Meisenheimer,
And Alex, what grade are you in?
5th grade.
5th grade. Alex, what I've been told is that people are just amazed by what you did. Can you share what you did to support this effort?
I raised over $200.
$200. You were probably the individual that raised the most money, it sounds like.
Yeah.
How did you accomplish getting $200?
I went to a lot of my neighbors and friends, and they gave me a lot of money.
Was it challenging or hard to go knock on doors like that?
Yeah.
Did they look at you weird or anything?
Some.
It sounded like you had tremendous success, though, that people wanted to help and contribute.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. That effort, what it sounds like to me is you went above and beyond, and that's such a wonderful thing because of what you did to help other people. Mm-hmm. And it probably means a lot in terms of what type of person you're going to be in the long run. I bet your parents are very proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your efforts on this and for raising over $200 is just really an amazing feat. My last person that I get to talk to today is a student that is a part of our school at Artisan. I think you're a 5th grader, aren't you, Emmy?
Yes.
Can you give us your full name?
My name is Emmy Jackson.
Emmy Jackson. And so, Emmy, what did you, when you first heard that the school was going to raise this kind of money, what struck you as being important about this?
Well, I thought it was really special because my mom died of cancer a couple weeks ago, and I knew that she was alive in this process of raising money, and I knew she would be able to encourage people to raise money.
So really, for you, it was important because it's something that you had to live through yourself. And so you're not only we're trying to support your mom, but supporting a bigger group of people. When you found out that the school raised over $4,000, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel wonderful.
Yeah, I would imagine so. That's such a thing that would give a pride not only about your school, but what it meant in terms of people saying that they want to go help others that are going things just like you as your family did. So I sure admire you talking to me today, and appreciate that you were ready to go give back yourself on this effort. So it's really an awesome thing. Thank you.